All right, everybody, so we're going to be starting the rocket car at this point, and we're going to do procedure number one. So our engineering activity, procedure number one. And in this activity, we are going to be creating this essentially virtual block of wood that you have right here. All right, you can see the dimensions on this block of wood, so it's going to be 9 inches long by 2 inches high. You can see it's 1.654 inches wide. We'll cover all of these dimensions as we get through and we start to build it. I will also have this image attached to Google Classroom as well too, so it makes it easy for you guys to follow along. So here we go. One other thing I want you to notice is that I'm running Solidworks natively on my laptop. You guys that are working remotely obviously have to connect through the remote app server, and you're going to have the drive file stream enabled as well too, so that you have a place to save this. At this point, we've done this enough that I'm not going to demonstrate that at this point. All right, so just follow along with this. We're going to do a new part. And we're going to go to View, Hide and Show Origins, which is going to pop our origin out here in the center of the screen. We're also going to come up here to the Options tab and Document Properties. We're going to select Units. We're going to make sure that this says IPS, which it does, and then we're going to make these 3 decimals. So the top 3 of these, all right, for length, dual dimension length, and angle, we're going to just make those three numbers, so we get thousandths of an inch, all right? Just want to expand that there. So to get started, we're going to choose a line, which we haven't drawn with yet. We've always drawn on the top plane. This time we're going to go to the front plane. And after we do that, you're going to notice that if we tried to draw it without doing what I'm about to do now, it would sort of be skewed and it makes it difficult to draw that way. So I'm going to go to the view orientation and select the front. So I'm viewing it from dead straight on, right? We're going to go over our origin here. Notice how it turns yellow. That's called a coincident relationship. And we're going to go ahead and draw a horizontal line. It's horizontal because you can see that little yellow icon there. And that means that it's horizontal. Don't worry about the length or anything like that. So go ahead and click. I'm going to draw a vertical line. You'll know it's vertical because it has that little yellow icon there. You're just going to draw an angled line. Make sure that you don't snap it to the midpoint here. Just like make it a short line. We're going to do another horizontal and just make sure that you get it so that it snaps down to our starting point here, so that when we go to finish this out, we end up with another vertical line. So you'll see these are vertical and they're parallel to one another. These are horizontal and they're parallel to one another, okay? Next step, we're in Smart Dimension. So the overall length of this block of wood is 9 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to make this 9. The height of this block of wood is 2 inches. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that 2. Notice how it almost messed us up here. It didn't, but it almost did. So there's actually 3 measurements here. So there's the distance from here to here, which is the length of that segment, is 1. There's also, the distance from here to here, which is 1 measurement. This is also a measurement, which is the length of that segment, which that's one we don't want to do. And then there's actually a height. So the distance between here and here is a height. And we'll do that one first, since it's nearly almost looks horizontal at this point. I'm just going to go ahead and click that, and notice that's the length of the segment. If I move up a little bit, that's the distance between those 2 points. And if I move to the right here, you can see that I've got the height. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And I'm going to make that height 0.75 inches. Just hit enter. See how it straightens it out now. And then I'm going to click this thing again. And sometimes it won't catch. So I will click outside of here, basically. I don't want to point. Turn Smart Dimension off and turn it back on again. Every now and then it just gets messed up. So if I click it again, there we go. So there's the length of that segment, which is not what I want. If I move it up here, you'll see it'll be the distance between the two, and that's 4.5. And if you're like, hey, where is he getting these measurements from? Well, you'll have to go back and look. If you're working remotely, you'll have to look from the Google Classroom post, but this will be on there with those dimensions. All right. So the only thing that I have to do at this point, I'm 2 inches high, 9 inches long. It has a 0.75 inch height here and 4.5 from point to point. I'm going to go to Features and Extrude a Boss Base, and I'm going to leave this blind and 1.654 inches. I'll go ahead and hit the green check. Sometimes you have to hit it a second time. So I've got the overall outer dimensions on this. I'm actually going to go and spin to the back now. I'm going to go back to sketch for a new sketch. I'm going to choose a circle. It's going to be on this plane right here. I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a circle. Notice it's completely not centered. It doesn't matter. We'll fix that. So I'm going to go to Smart Dimension. I always dimension the diameter of my circles first. So there's my circle at 0.75 inches in diameter. The distance from here, so I'm going to click the center of the circle, down to the bottom is 1.375 inches. And the distance from here to here is 0.827 inches. Almost done. I'm going to go ahead and hit my green check here. One final thing. I'm going to go to Features. I'm going to go to Extruded Cut. I'm going to leave that blind, and this dimension right here, we're going to make 2 inches. Now, when you guys click this, if I didn't say this in the video, I'd get a lot of kids that would email me and be like, it didn't cut it. It absolutely cut it. What you have to do is you have to spin it to the side. And if you spin it to the side, then, and I'm just using the keyboard to do that now, you're able to see that that is actually cut that way. So I'm going to go back up to here and view it from this side, and I'm going to make it see-through. And now you'll see that there's a chamber that's cut inside of here. And that's what the real block of wood that we use to make our rocket car actually looks like, okay? So at this point, we're good to go. The only thing we have to do is save it. So I'm going to have you guys go to File. I'm going to have you go to Save As. You are going to browse to your Google Drive file stream and My Drive. We will go to Classroom on here. Don't have my external mouse here, so there we go, Classroom. And you're going to go to your Google Classroom class right here. And I'm going to ask you guys to call this your first name, your last name, procedure 1, right? And I'll have you guys go ahead and save that. The final step for those of you that are working remotely, the final step will be that I need you guys to browse back over to Google Classroom, and I need you to turn that file in, this file right here. So in Drive File Stream, in My Drive in Classroom, I need you guys to turn in, there it is. I need you to turn that file into me so I can check it out and see if you did what I needed you to do. And that's pretty much it. So that's our first step. Pretty simple, pretty quick. What I will tell you is, although it's simple and quick, you have to make sure that your dimensions are exactly like I have them on here. Okay, so they have to be like this. Your dimensions on the rear sketch as well too, where the circle is, they have to be accurate. If they're not accurate, what we're about to do moving forward isn't going to work very well. Okay, so do your best on that, and we will check back in with procedure number 2 when we get there. Have a good day.